Monshare so ne fe. Me share no my etu. Ahun kan keke. Look at monshare nuya. I mean when I hu baby I know. When you find beautiful scenery. And crofo kwan ebegyina ho ne ehwe ne atwa picture. This is beautiful. Ne monshare nsuo no. Monshare nsuo no. Efin e kwa wiase ba ye nyina wo nsuo yi mu. Enso na adane bibia wo hu odwene ho a wo nte ase. Enu nti na ebegyina ha. Me Ghana from ma, especially maame nom. Obi amo na boso. Asem na gi ensem o. He say asem na nya asem ya chance table kan biem. Enya asem e de pen paper kan biem. Me dru junction he say me dru ha yi. Onkofo e ton monko. Omo achi bayire. Omo chi fish. Omo to fish. I have fish baby. It's a hifa pa pot na mo chi fish na free. Say so we ya. I sense so when no more fish na free na ye best slow bia obi akodoma e frɛ river bi Pamu river Pamu so no te sɛ de aye kroche aye doma hin ko Ghana hasusu haya o asusu so no aye clear e san say osagefo osiadio yo Ajimambedu the second doctor or say ni krom do ma mam ho no obiara obe galamsey oni wudi or fra himfo na ka kire omo enti ko hwe ba bia nso ni aye wo ho me papa president e kasa oba ye ndi obeye di kan pa do ye ni say wutwa galamsey mu say ye mpe kwan emfanye na nka bibia ntoto wa we anye yi kire say wono wotin cry na wo pese wo yade ne ye no do no ti makurase ana wo sa kuro ase no ono de ope no no be ye why ye bio politicians anye ye civil servants anye ye civil society anye ye mumia fa nhye one of the same institution the traditional institution no a established institution mumia fa nhye omonsa na ye make sure say sa ekunwe aye kun
That there is Nana Akosua Frimpomaa Sapon Kuma, the just elected presidential candidate of the CPP. Congratulations, and she joins us in studio for a conversation. Congratulations, Nana. I mean, not just on the election, but also winning that case in court, you know, that long-standing battle that finally cleared you as chairperson. And now, the flag bearer. How does it feel? And you look beautiful this morning.
Thank you very much. You look pretty.
Yeah.
How does it feel? If I start talking about it, it's going to be tears.
Oh.
Tears for the people of this country. Tears because I stood for what I believed in. And I want to assure every single person listening to my voice, especially the young people, that we will do what is right for this nation, regardless.
You will do what is right
for this nation, regardless. That is what I've sacrificed my life for. What I know is right. And what you saw there is not because it's trending today. It was done, I think, about a year or two ago. We will do what we know is right because we are going to live by the principles of Osadefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. We are going to live by the principles that sets up this nation.
Right.
For the reason for which the independence, it's ours though, nobody should fight for their independence. It should be your right. But when it's been deprived, you must fight for it.
Yesterday.
And definitely as we sit here today, the purpose for which we are Ghanaians, the purpose for which government is formed, the purpose for which we are talking about democracy, we've lost it.
We've lost it.
Completely.
We've lost our democracy.
We have.
Or the purpose for it.
Yes. And so we are at a situation where we have a clear understanding. It's just like Osadefo when he came in. He knew clearly. That's why you see our symbol says freedom. That was exactly what we needed to do. Get our basic freedom first. Become at least a sovereign state. And then from that point, do what is right for yourself, your people, and your generation.
Okay. So we'll get into the issues and all that.
I'm happy. I just want you to know that I'm accelerating. It's beyond happiness for me. I tell people that if you see me, Ghana, be happy. You can go as everybody should make sure that they have a cockerel. Just make sure it's not red. Or a brand say Baba Biara, because a Nigeria Bagana, there's going to be a revolution.
Nana Frimpomaa.
Yes.
Yesterday, it looks like some people were not happy about your ascension to the throne or your, emerging as winner and flag bearer of the CPP. What happened there? What do you think was going on? What's happening?
Let me put it
we saw it on TV, so it's only fair that we ask you to clarify what we saw.
I mean, honestly speaking, what I saw were people who were jubilating.
Okay.
There might be somebody who wasn't happy. And clearly, it's the contest. Even when I was growing up, I remember when we were playing Ludo in the house. Unless my daddy was part of it. When it's always us, somebody is trying to manipulate the system. And when the person wins, the person is not happy. So they would tell you, so a game there, when you lose, it's okay, there's time to play another one. I mean, this is a clear, that I can say, a chunk part of the establishment was not for me.
Okay.
If somebody must be crying foul, it's me. But clearly, the people spoke.
Okay.
So if somebody says that the system, there was a rigging or something, you see, we didn't do the election in one location.
Yes.
We did it in 16 regions. So what happened in all the regions?
I get your point.
Well,
congratulations. You are the flag bearer now. So let's talk about what you are going to do, your vision, your policies. But I want to start from galamsey because that's the video we just saw, and you sound very passionate about it. At this point in this country right now, Ghana Water Companies struggling to supply the 70% that was already a deficit. Now we're all the way down to 40%. And yesterday I saw a report that it might be coming down to 30% supply of water. And if care is not taken, we might have to import water. This country imports water. How do you intend to, wage war on this menace that is crippling us as a nation? Because it's not just our water bodies now. It's affecting cocoa farmers. It's affecting fishermen. Galamsey is just a canker that is eating at the very fiber that makes up this country. What is your plan to combat this menace head on?
Thank you for the opportunity again. And that is why I'm so excited. Because then your voice can now be heard. I've spoken about galamsey. I've gone to meetings and conferences and things, workshops, and I've made my voice clear. However, it's not been heard. And I'm hoping that now, not only will my voice be heard, it can be implemented by myself and the people of this nation who really want to see a difference. This problem is not something that happened overnight. We saw it coming. It's not a rocket science that you say that maybe one day we woke up and there's a problem and how do we bring experts to solve it. These were done by everyday people, everyday Ghanaians, our children, who are looking for living. They wanted to be able to make sure that they take care of themselves and their family. They've not heard. They've not heard to trying to make sure they have, but the institutions. All this problem we're talking about is institutions. If you don't have the proper institutions to work, and there's this extent of corruption, that is where I talk about governance. Government, by Abraham Lincoln, is government of the people, for the people, by the people. You understand? Government. I'm not know if I've quoted it well, but that is in that sense.
The government of the people, for the people, and by the people.
You understand?
Yeah.
That is their crux and their core of the democracy that they have practiced.
Okay. But let me
tell you why I'm saying that. We had a system in place before the colonial invaders, and that is our traditional structure. So till today, if a chief gets here, no matter what, we all get up and we give reverence. If you go to, whether it's Otumfo, my Osajifo, no matter where you go, and you go into the traditional council, you give reference to the people, simply because that is part of our upbringing. If we dissolve our structures, we bring in structures to govern the people, and it has now become government by some people, for some people, not for the people. Do you understand? So we've mixed it, the institutions, the governance of this country. We must not leave the group, the small unit. that small unit called a village, that small unit where a water is passing, have government system.
Are you saying that the institutions have failed the fight in combating galamsey, and that's how you plan to tackle the menace?
Absolutely.
How? Are you going to constitute new institutions, regulations? How exactly what is your vision to kill this thing once and for all, galamsey?
I have, as part of my whole thing, 3 pillars. There's going to be ethics, equity, and innovation. Now, when I talk about ethics, equity, and innovation, the ethics, yes, equity and innovation. Mm-hmm. These are the pillars upon which we're going to build this country back and give it to the ownership of the Ghanaian to really be able to take back what they've lost. Listen to me here. The country as we have it today, who is in charge? Who is in charge? Everything has melted to a central system that can't hold anymore. Why am I saying institutions? That village that gets the water, that young boy that is working, who is doing galamsey, going under and sometimes collapsing on them. These are human beings. These are the governments of the people, by the people, for the people. They go and vote. And wherever they go to vote, under my government, that location will be the government. Baby, I'll cut to Wabano. A ho and a bedtime Wabai. See, the master, let me come in. Life is not complicated. I'll reduce it as a mother. When there's a problem in the house and they can't solve.
You're talking about centralized government.
We will
bring
it.
For every community, you have what? People there who govern themselves and take decisions that are good for the community. I want to follow you and understand what you're saying.
What I'm saying is that the galamsey issue that you today are going to have an issue with because you won't have enough water in your house has been caused by a location, small units.
Yes.
You understand? It's not done in my bedroom. It's done in small villages across the country. Yeah. And that has culminated into a problem that we can't seem to solve to the extent that even our export, our cocoa and our fruits, I can't even eat crab. I love crab so much. Since I did that program, when I'm eating my shrimp and crab, I'm concerned. Do you understand? Because I saw the water from where it was being taken.
Some would argue that we have the laws in place. We have regulatory bodies. We have military officials. We have people. We have the laws. We have the systems. But it is actually a lack of political will to fight this thing head on. Also because our politicians, our leaders, need the money that is coming from galamsey in order to fund their campaign activities, especially in this election year. So how do you assess that? Do you think that the institutions will automatically remove the problem without a good or strong political will? Because even if you institute new policies or new programs, create a new institution, it is the will to actually say that we do not want to, subject this country to the devastating nature that galamsey has plunged us into as we speak.
Let
so
me
what
say
is the
this
plan
on
there?
record.
Yeah.
I will not sit here and do politics, just a populist statement. The problem that you have outlined must be addressed from the core. And I'm saying that at the core is lack of integrity, ethics. At the core is corruption. At the core is greed. At the core is no accountability. At the core of all this is lack of welfare for the people. But to be able to address that, you need to be able to understand that people must be able, the concerns of people must be addressed. And how do you do that? I sit here as a government and I make a policy. And the policy I think is the best, including if you wanted to build a house of God. You understand? Because before I got it, I went on my knees and I prayed with my God. And my belief says that, let me build a church. I couldn't even do that, even with people that are supposed to be heads of Christian authorities. You know why? Because the corruption is so deep that you can't do. That is why one of the things that I said, I'm talking about ethics, is that even in our pledge and in our creed and in our claim to be able to become, say, I pledge as the citizens, as the president of this nation, I will do that with my Bible and in the presence of water.
Oh.
Thank you. You remember that?
Yes, I remember. We had the conversation. I think it was earlier this year about bringing back swearing with water and the practices of African traditional religion. And
ethics. We will reset the button.
So that's how you intend to come back?
No, in addition
to the rules and the...
In addition to using structured system, intelligent. I'm an IT person. I believe I know the current technology, but I also know that it's a human being that sits there to do the system. And therefore, in bringing the system, I'll make sure that at least the psyche, God is within all of us. Nobody is that evil. I don't believe that these politicians there are there to make sure that we die or they kill us. But today, all of us will go to our graves, either having defected children, the fetal stuff, even young people. People are having babies with deformities. You understand? Kidney, people are just dying, kidney problem, liver. All these things are based on the chemicals that we are consuming. I'm telling you, the institutions are failing. You are sitting here, I'm sitting here. Who's supposed to ensure that the galamsey is being done the proper way?
Frimpomaa, as we speak, I think the majority, about 70% or so of the Ghanaian population are Christian. Do you think they'll buy into this belief of swearing by water as a way of promoting our integrity and, ethics and all that?
Don't swear by water, but you swear in presence of water. Do you drink water in the morning?
Yes, I did.
So why are you afraid of water? Thank you.
So you think, okay, anyway, you also talked about corruption, right?
Corruption.
What is the plan there as well? I know that you will be giving us your manifesto in a bit, but let
me explain to you. I said we will bring governance to a system. The corruption, the person, where do you build properties? In a location. Where does the police officer supposed to be able to make sure that he does the right thing? In a particular location. You and I are not there. We will ensure, and listen to me clearly, local government will be brought to the people. It will be government of the people, so the people themselves within that locality will be running that particular location. For the people, in the interest of the people within that location.
So let's take, for example, our local MMDs and, are you saying that we are going to be electing them so that we put someone from the community there who understands the plight of the people? That will also be alluding to constitutional review, because our constitution currently allows that the president is the one who appoints them. So when you say a government for the people, it sounds like a very centralized approach to, tackle the issues head on, based on the issues coming out in the various communities and how these people in that particular community are handling it. So are you saying that we need to review our constitution so that the people can elect our local governments to represent us, so that everything there is happening is centralized? Is that it?
You see this question that you've asked?
Yeah.
It makes me a little understand where you are coming from. But that shows clearly why we have a problem. You know why?
Why?
What you've just said is already in a place. We already elect people as our smallest locality. I don't need to change the constitution. I'm only going to ensure that what is right for the people is done. Listen, as you go to vote today, I don't even vote. People don't go there. Every unit committee area is voted. We have people in every small village who is supposed to represent that village, but they don't even know their job. We just pay money to vote them, and if they don't, there's nothing to tell them. We are talking about decentralization, not centralizing. Decentralization to the people, for the people, within the Teshi community, within the Nungwa community, within the Labadi community. I wouldn't know what is wrong with them. They know what is wrong with them. They know the solution. I am only here to ensure that what is right is done. That the people that have put in the ministries are going to ensure that they are going to hold them accountable. Because government is going to be accessible to the people. If you walk to vote, listen to me. If you walk to vote in a location, you will walk to your government in that location. And that is my promise. Baby, I will be Nancy to Wabano. Mammy, Papa, Onya, Brancy, a Hona Yawabai. Now, I'm telling you today that in that location, We will change every polling station will become a government center. You don't need to sit down. If you crawl to go and vote for me, you will crawl to find your location. We will use in technology. We will make sure that you can go online and use access. But you didn't go online and use access to vote for us. So we will make it also convenient for you to go in there. So that when there's a problem with galamsey, when the water is being polluted, when you can't have access to job, when your father who got a stroke is in the house and there's no welfare and social services have collapsed, somebody is going to have to answer. Somebody
in order for you to do all these things, but before I even get there, when should we expect the manifesto from you?
I think that immediately we finish our filing, maximum by the time that we celebrate the birthday of our father, Osagyefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, we would have our manifesto.
So there's not a confirmed date yet?
It should be around that time, on that day.
Now,
we have not confirmed this is supposed to go through. We have already done our manifesto. Indeed, we have the best manifesto.
What's it called?
No. I mean the previous one. This one. Let me keep it small here.
It shouldn't be a secret. It's 92 days to the elections. We should be
don't
absorbing and dissecting.
I'm giving you some. I'm telling you that. Okay. Listen, people think we are late. Sometimes it's even better to be late. So then you get to observe everything. And you come in at a time with the energy. It is not about the time. Right. We've done it before in this country. 3 months, we still won elections in Ghana with the CPP.
All right.
You understand?
I like where you landed. So now, you know that I did not want to call it a small parties, but compared to the 2 major parties, you are relatively small.
Absolutely.
Great. And over the years, it appears these smaller parties have had challenges, tipping the scale between the NDC, and which is why we've had NDC and PP for the past 32 years. I believe you hope to break this tide, this duopoly, in terms of resource mobilization, in terms of gathering supports at the grassroots level. I've heard you talk about mobilizing the youth and all that. How do you intend, or what are you doing differently so that this time you actually have a chance to tip the scales?
You see, the government that we would have in place, which is the government at the unit committee level. The unit committee is the polling station. The unit committee is the polling station. Mm-hmm. We would tilt this by giving power to the people there. You won't become a minister in our government if you don't have presence in that unit committee level. You won't become the head of anything in our government if you can't deal and work with them. So how are we going to tell the state? Is to ask the youth to take over. We're asking the youth to organize themselves. Don't let anybody deceive you. I don't have the solutions. I can't solve your problem without water. The woman who has to pay for 2 serious buckets of water before his child can or her child can have to bath to go to school or use the. I'm sorry. Sometimes these things they choke me. You understand? Because I'm going to bring a certain feminine touch.
We'll get there in a bit.
The men are smart people, all intelligent. You have the best brains. But what we have lacking is the human touch, the welfare of the people. Let me quote you what our father said, that we must be judged by what access you have to potable drinking water, to education, affordable housing, food, accessible quality, how much, these are the things that we want to be judged by our government. Not necessarily how many highways or how many hospitals. When you build hospitals, so many hospitals in centers, and people are drinking lead and mercury water, what is the essence of the hospital? Okay. When you build hospitals and you let women, in POP, you leave them under trees, and they die from the bites of ants. And till today, we haven't been told what has happened to that institution. Those doctors, that ambulance, I'm going to get to them. Who did that thing?
We are all living in this country and we are feeling the pinch. I mean, we'll talk about the economy in a bit. And yet, most Ghanaians are afraid that a vote for the smaller parties is a spoiled vote.
I agree with you.
The question is, how do you intend to change that mindset so that at least, if not win the elections, but offset the NDC and PP duopoly in a bit? What is the plan from the CP? I know that you just had the election yesterday, and so it might be a bit early, I don't know, but what really is the plan to ensure that you make some significant impacts in this election year in about 92 days?
And let me get back to you again. Elections are won at polling stations.
Right.
So our plan is simple. That's the plan I had before. And thank God I'm here. So that's what I'm telling every young person, to really thank them. I think this is the spirit of Sadifo, because he has realized that his vision and his dream has become meaningless. It's not working for this country. So somebody with a spirit must come back to ensure that his vision would really be realized. Listen, I'd like to reduce things to the smallest unit. Government is going to be at the center. So the youth at the polling station, at our governance center, will not take over. They will take over. They are going to get involved. They are going to get involved with our campaign. It is not for me to go there and tell them. It's not like they should vote for me. They are going to vote for themselves. The way we've structured our system, the youth will be voting for themselves. Because when they get involved and they go to vote, they are voting for their future. They are voting for their current situation. They are voting for themselves being able to access equity. That's why we said there's going to be equity. Equity for everybody. The disabled, the woman, the aged, the young person, the brilliant, the not so brilliant child. Everybody in the society. So we will ensure that in what the structure that we are coming up with at your polling station, that is your government. So get up and get involved. Get up and vote for yourself. You're not voting for me and Frimpomaa.
So the central message of your campaign is ethics, equity, innovation.
Precisely.
Okay.
And it's going to be the equity, which would be most of the when you look at our policies, our manifesto, you realize that we are bringing it to the people. We're not telling people what we'll do for them. We are telling people that we'll give them the space to be able to do what is right for them. Government is only supposed to create an enabling environment. The government is supposed to make sure that the roads that are supposed to be done in that area, if we have put money in place, that road that is being done by the people there. You don't bring somebody from here to go and give him a mineral resource in my locality, and then the person, you bring military from a central location to come to a small location to ensure that there is no galamsey. When within that location, there is an odikro and a queen mother or some traditional person that you can hold responsible. Madam, are you understanding me?
Yes,
I have been a traditional ruler, and I understand what I'm talking about.
Okay.
When we take the stool, our desire is only one. You want to live by the ancestral spirit. That means the land and the people. You are entrusted with the people, the land and the people, to ensure that what is done is right for them is done. Now, government has taken that out. Now you are bringing commissions, task force and everything, and you are leaving the traditional person out there. He gave the land to the person farming. The person farming has been there for years. Now, all of a sudden, somebody comes in, and the person wants to come and mine. And me that have finished the university, my mother used to be on this land, and I know there's gold there. And you want me to sit down? No.
Okay.
Do you understand?
I get you.
I will let the responsibility be with that queen mother and that chief. If there's a problem, he is the one who's going to be fired. And I can assure you, if we leave that responsibility to chiefs, like my chief did in Doma, we will have clean water. Within a matter of a month to 90 days, Ghana will see a reverse. There is nothing we can't do if the people have the will, but they must believe in it. And if they think that it is coming to them, let me tell young people, I will not take the galamsey away from you. Don't let anybody deceive you. No.
You will not take galamsey away from them?
No. I will put the institutions in place so that you will be able to do what is you would own the gold. The gold is owned by you. If it can't be done the proper way, it will stay there until a structure is put in place. But it won't go to no foreigner. Trust me on this one.
Now, Ghana is facing a series of economic challenges. We can talk about inflation, rising public debt, unemployment. In fact, nearly 2 million young people are neither in employment, it's, skills development or training. And then there's that Afrobarometer report that says 9 out of 10 people think that the country is going in the wrong direction. When you listen to the manifestos that have been put forward so far, everybody's talking about how they intend to create jobs, how they intend to revive the economy. You can talk about John Maham's 24-hour economy. You can talk about the NPP's digitalization and, all the things that they are promising. What is your plan to turn the economy around in terms of employment, in terms of education, in terms of industrialization? In fact, the CPP was known as one of the parties that was propelling their industrialization agenda, So how do you intend to revive that? In agriculture, all the things that really make up the backbone of this economy. How do you intend to do that and revive the economy? Are you resetting? Are you upgrading? Are you transforming? What are you doing?
First of all, we are resetting the ethics.
So you buy into the resetting agenda?
I'm not buying into the resetting. Okay. We had the resetting agenda.
Oh.
We came late. But we said we reset ethics.
Okay.
We reset ethics in this country. That for me is basic. How do you make sure that the economy works? Let me tell you something. All the promises they are making, I've listened. There's a reason why we never went to IMF and people have always keep going to IMF. We will go back to IMF, except you bring it back to us. There will be IMF, no matter. I've listened to everybody. They will go back to IMF. Let me tell you why. When you look, and you can do that because now everybody can go online. If you look at the economy of this country and other developed countries, you realize that about 80 to 90% of us are in the informal sector. Okay? The definition by ILO, International Labour Organization, let's state that the unemployed person is somebody who has gone to look for a job within the past 3 weeks. So even when they give you figures, that is the basis of their figures. That the unemployed youth, 2 million, you think youth in this country, unemployed youth are 2 million. They are saying that the person who is carrying today selling ice water is an employed youth because he hasn't gone to look for a job. Yeah. That the definition of unemployment by the world is that somebody who has not gone to look for a job within the past 3 weeks is employed. Listen, Ghanaians are petty traders. We are on our own. There's no structure system in Ghana that addresses that. The system only takes and uses the GDP of all these cumulative small
enterprises
together to then say that they are manage it and say whether it's been managed properly or not. We will change that. That is the first thing I'm going to change. We are going to change the informal sector to formal sector by empowering the informal sector to be able to become corporations and cooperatives and give them funding. We will put money into the human capital, not into major infrastructure programs. The first 2 years of this country, 20 million people in this country would have access to funding. I'll give you the details later. 20 million. If you're listening to me, get back and join the CPP at your polling station because that's where the government is coming.
Where would
Whether
you get
you're NPP, NDC, or it won't matter to us.
Right.
We do not discriminate.
How do you intend,
Ghanaian,
right.
you are Ghanaian.
How do you intend to raise the funds that you want to inject into this 20 million people? I mean, same question we are asking all the other flag bearers. I mean, the promises seem ambitious, but the question of how you intend to fund them. So some of them are talking about reducing government size, boosting revenue collection and broadening the tax brackets, even on the back of some tax incentives and freebies that they are offering. How do you intend to get money to inject into small and medium enterprises, 20 million people?
We are going to give back.
That's more than half the population of the country.
I know what I'm talking about. Okay. 20 million. Almost everybody. Equity. We are going to give back the country to the Ghanaian. Okay? So that we, the women that used to go and buy things from abroad, that now it is even cheaper to buy from the China shop than to go and buy anything from China. We are jokers in this country. We are jokers. We are just giving with a certain mentality. Private sector is the engine of growth. Private sector, capitalism. Capitalism without capital for your people is a sellout of your people. It's an impoverishment to your people. You are talking about, you have opened your liberal policies have opened your door for anybody to come in the name of private sector being the engine of growth. But who is the private sector? Is it the woman selling the ice water? Or is it the person selling the small kinky since 60 years ago? We would bring that money that I'm talking about is going to empower groupings so that the women selling the kinky will now become a cooperative with funds. She doesn't have to sell kinky the same method. Innovation is part of our system. So they will use innovation based on the equity, which is the funds that will be given them. So that now we will have kinky ice cream, kinky yogurt, kinky everything, without necessarily going through that process. If the people where I used to buy kinky when I was a young girl, 60 years on, I'm still buying kinky from that place within the same system. That for me is a shame. Let me tell you something.
That's a solid plan to actually inject money to, sort of put some formality to the informal sector. But the question is,
where is the money coming from?
Yes.
Let me ask you a question.
We are in debt, though. As we speak, we are over 700 billion Ghana cedis in debt. So where are you going to get the money from?
As we speak.
And you said we won't go to IMF because if you follow the current
we don't have to go to that is the last place.
Where is the money coming from?
Let me give you an example. You see the agriculture. If you travel from here to Paga, you see the lands that are available there. Land is a resource. Land is money. Land can be used as what's that thing that you do? Like, what is it that when you are trying to get a loan? What as a collateral?
Collateral. Okay.
Land is a collateral if it's properly registered. You understand? You don't need, as a government, to go and get 30 billion to come and hand over to young people. We have network. The Chinese are coming here. The Indians have already produced some sort of technology. We have the land. We empower our young people from the pooling. That's why I said I reduce it to a certain level. From that level, you empower the people there so that the district now is empowered. So that the district, the business within that community, if they need to have a factory, I'm not going to open the doors for you who have already produced the equipment in China, India, Australia, everywhere, to now come and set the factory here and just give employment to my youth. No. The factory must be owned by the Ghanaian. However, we would have a system which for me is so simple that would allow this equipment to be leased and brought in partnership with the people. So if I say that I'm going to raise 20 billion within the first year and make sure that every Ghanaian youth has access to $1,000, and that $1,000,
you're going to raise 20 billion within the first 1 year.
Yes.
And make sure that every Ghanaian youth has access to $1,000.
Absolutely. Let me tell you why. That would revolutionize.
So the 20 billion is cedis?
Yes.
But the $20 billion dollars.
Yes.
And then every Ghanaian youth $1,000. Yes. Why are you even quoting in dollars?
Because the reason why is that it is after our government that there will be no quotation for dollars.
All right. But I want to understand what the plan is.
The reason why I'm using dollars is because every day you wake up, there's a dollar fluctuation based on the faulty economic system that we have. But when we are done, nobody will make quotation in dollars because price will remain the same for long. But in Ghana, prices do not remain the same. Prices are hedged towards the money that we don't have. If I say 10, when I said 10,000 3 years ago. Now 10,000 is no more anything. So I'm using dollars so that if by the time I take over it's 20,000, then it means that Ghanaian youth knows he has access to 20,000 Ghana cedis. Okay. But after we are done, within the first 2 years, there will be no dollar problem in this country. That funds that we are going to give out, are you listening to me? That funds that we are going to give out is going to be given to young people who are into any sector of the economy, so that they will be able to become the ice water person. Let's say I am a smart person that seems to be selling all these things, ice kinky. Now, I have opportunity using innovation with the system that we put in, the ministry that we put in place, for the person to now gather 100 people. That 100 people now put their money of $100,000 into that corporation to be able to bring the equipment that makes the kinky, turns it into quality, clean ice kinky, packages it well, and so that it can be frozen and it can be sold. So the woman doesn't have to now get up. Listen, you see the carrying of goods in Ghana. It will be faded out in a decade. We will fade it out. It's dehumanizing.
It's dehumanizing. The head porters.
It's dehumanizing.
Street hawkers.
It's dehumanizing.
Okay.
For any young person to get up, and the only way he makes an income is to carry something on the head and be selling before he makes an income. I don't wish for my children, I don't wish it for my grandchildren, and I will not wish it for any Ghanaian child.
And to change that status quo, you're going to be given $1,000.
I'm going to invest and inject 20 billion immediately, not into major infrastructure, but into human capital.
And this 20 billion, just for clarity, is coming from?
Don't worry. Don't worry. Okay. Please, how much did you say you owe?
Oh, so over 700. Over 700 billion.
Where did it come from?
Cities. It came from the finance minister. In his latest address.
No. Where did that money come from?
Debts. That's how much we owe.
How did you owe the debts?
From borrowing.
And what else? You understand?
So you will not borrow? Or in the first few years, you borrow that first capital, and then you turn the economy around and then cut off. I'm a business person. Okay. I've grown up as an entrepreneur all my life. I will not borrow. I will. Do you know what they call Domianche? Have you heard of it before? Yeah. What is it? A group of people come together, farm, and then divide the produce and all that. I'm actually over 10. Domianche means that I own the land. Right. And then because I own the land, I don't maybe not have the time to do it. So you come in and you farm. And then at the end of the day, you take part of the process and I take part of the process. Our great ancestors who did not know anything about economy, have not gone to Harvard Yale, was able to put a structure in place that till today still makes sense. I'm really looking forward to your manifesto. I'm sure you will elaborate more on these policies to turn the economy around. So let's simply is that it's about vision. It's about putting the human being in the center of every policy. Once you make every child your child, once you make every human being like you, once you understand that every child and every human being has access and has a right to quality education, quality house, affordable housing, and these basic things, then the Spirit of God within you will give you the answers as He gave to our Father. What do you think about our judicial system? I mean, when I hear you talk about the swearing with water or of water to boost or help with integrity and ethics and all that, do you think that our judicial system needs some improving? And what's your plan there? Absolutely. Listen, whether it's there. Are we reverting back to old days where, the chiefs are the ones who adjudicate? And what's your plan? Let me not jump the gun. Let me tell you, I don't believe in going back to our roots. But your whole plan is for us to incorporate swearing an oath or swearing with water, which is, some would argue that that's primitive, for want of a better word. Precisely. Because that's something we used to do. People even call me Manu Water. For lack of ignorance. Listen, tell you, I am an Osadefos child. I am a Pan-Africanist. I believe in Africa. I do not believe that my ancestors are evil. I want to tell everybody on the stage today, our ancestors are not evil. Okay. Our ancestors were good, loving people. We had the best system until the invaders came to this country. And they have been able to pollute us and make us believe that everything about us is evil. If you will swear by the Quran, and you will swear by water, and you will swear by affirmation, you will not do it by water because you are afraid. Period. As a woman, and that fear
is what I'm bringing back into our system of governance, so that the people that take authority and say they're going to do things for us, they must be reminded every day about why they've taken that responsibility. The responsibility is not for you and your children. The responsibility won't happen. Look at the water. Look at the galamsey. You think it happened because people are evil? No, but because systems are not working.
If the Bible and the Quran, swearing with the Bible and the Quran
did not work,
how sure are you that water would work?
Because I believe in integrity and I believe in the psyche of people. I believe that our psyche as Africans is linked to our land. Water is, please go and Google water. Even when you speak positive things on water, it changes the molecule of water. It's there. It's been established scientific.
Okay, we have
what we are saying here is not so. If you speak that I, Nana Frimpomaa, swear by this Quran, blah blah blah, I said do it in the presence of water. That's I. If I may err, I want to be judged, or I want the system to hold me accountable. Meanwhile, I've brought the police officer. I'm the one who brought the head. I'm the one who decides who becomes the head of the judiciary and everything. And you think that means anything? We don't fear nothing.
Nana Frimpomaa.
We will be swearing by everything, including the water you drank this morning and the water you had a bath with this morning, so that you have a responsibility to the people who have elected you. If you're afraid, don't come.
As a woman flag bearer, you are encouraging a broader participation of women in leadership, and it's no small feat. I mean, and then there's this gender, there's the fight for gender equity, equality, parity, whichever. There's the passage of the affirmative action bill yet to be assented into law. I just want your assessment of that, and then we go. How do you feel about that?
I feel, how do I feel? Without the affirmative law, I'm still here. Let me tell you something. I'm sorry to talk to people. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to wait for, let's not wait for no man to give us power. It will happen. Power is not given on a silver platter. Power doesn't come to you. Let's go for it. Women, present yourselves. You are the ones that really, really can make the difference. The men have tried. They are our fathers. They are our husbands and our brothers and cousins. When in any home, when a man is doing something and the man can't seem to get the answers, women just come in to support. All I'm here to do is support. Let's bring our forces together. We are in the majority, and let's support the men to make this nation work for our children and for our great children. I don't know whether this bill that has gone through would even become anything this lifetime. I don't know. We're talking about affirmative bills all this while.
Yeah.
If it happens, it's the best thing for this country.
I'll give you 30 more seconds to wrap your thoughts for me.
Let me say this opportunity and tell all the youth and everybody. First of all, thank you, CPP. Thank you. Thank you, delegates. You made a choice. Let me give you, every youth listening to my voice, this is your time, and this is your moment. I, Nana Frimpomaa, have represented you for the past 30 years, and all I'm telling you, that bringing governance to you at your doorsteps. That's all. Don't let anybody deceive you. The power and the force is in you. We will let you unleash your own force by bringing it to you at the doorsteps. And so be attentive and get to hear about our policies and get involved. Nobody is going to do it for you. You have to do it for yourself.
Do it for yourself. That is Nana Frimpomaa Sapon Kuma, the flag bearer of the Convention People's Party.
The flag bearer has made history with the longest
longest
name.
Word. Longest name. You have what? 5 names. Nana Frimpomaa Sapon Kuma. Congratulations once again.
And I made history.
And all
the first political party that has won power in this country to elect a woman as the presidential candidate.
Congratulations. Thank you so much. And we are looking forward to your manifesto, and then we can probe more on how feasible it would be. There's a lot more coming your way, but before I go, Joy News, an amalgam of professional bodies, is organizing a public speaking on the theme Transformed Individuals Transforming the World, a challenge for the religious community in Ghana. The speakers are Dr. Philip Bebman, Dr. Mrs. Yvonne Irenchura Iseku, Ambassador Standa Ahmed, and the main speaker for the day is Reverend Dr. Joseph Kofi Entry, moderated by Philip Osaibunsu, the host of Ekosi Sen on Asempa FM. This is happening on the 17th of September 2024, and it starts at 6:30 p.m. sharp at the British Council Hall. So for more information, please call 0244-220-426. Remember, the event is powered by Joy News and Joy FM. Don't go away. There's a lot coming your way on the AM show. I'll be right back.